Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be looking at a part 2 on Capricorn. I did a video the other day and I really feel looking back at the video I just didn't go in hard enough and I just did not truly articulate as much as I could the real depth of a Capricorn and the dark side, because that's what this series is about. And I think it's mainly in the fact because I am partially biased to the old Capricorn. You know, I like you guys because I respect that everything you do, you go through this really hard time with everything and life isn't easy for you. It's not simple. But at the same time, I can't overlook the very, very dark side of your sign. And it got me thinking a bit more about the sea goats. And I decided to come back and make a shorter video this time round, just jumping straight into the dark sides of them and trying to unpack this very complicated sign. So let's get on with it, shall we? Sip of the drink. Hope that you guys are having a good day or night wherever you're watching. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out, and hit the notification bell so when I upload new content, you guys can watch it. Okay, cool. So the darker side of Capricorn. First of all, the opposite sign on the wheel on the chart is Cancer. And so Cancer can be over emotive, over emotional, and manic in their emotions. And Capricorn is the reverse extreme of that, where they're stubborn, fixed, cold. And although they're not fixed like Taurus energy, because Capricorn is a mutable sign, it's more workable, it's not as stiff as Taurus. The dark side of a Capricorn really does take on a lot of the traits of the bull. In fact, I would probably say, I'd say that Capricorn actually shares a lot of similarities with the stubbornness of the bull and Taurus anyway. So that being said, you know, they can be a real stick in the mud. They're so fucking negative. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. These guys can be extremely mean, and not just kind of mean. I mean like disgustingly mean to people. And unless the Capricorn feels like you're of value to them, they just, treat you like shit. You've got to be of high value to them. They've got to know who your boss is. And if they don't know, if you can't get your manager, they want to get the manager, their manager's manager in their name. And in their mind, Capricorn always has to be right. This is one of the hardest things to accept with a Capricorn. And they will change the goalposts to fit the narrative of them being right. So if you're in a relationship with a Capricorn, it's more important for them to appear to be right and the status of being correct than it is whether they're actually right or not. That's one thing that I've learned about them. So if you're going to back down and let them win the fight, because everything seems to be a fight or a challenge with a Capricorn anyway. A lot of, they treat it like relationships are challenges to Capricorns. And that's what the goat does. It slams its head into things like a ram. I've often wondered who would win between a fight between an Aries and a Capricorn, or, in the sense of like the animal itself. And let's look at that for a second. And I was thinking, I was up in bed last night and my little brain was ticking around, and I was thinking to myself, when it comes to Capricorn, we've got these two elements to an animal that are very opposite to each other, that are infused together. And I think that's kind of why Capricorn was created, because it's really about mastering of emotions in the water, and the earth sign, which is grounded, practical, stable. So we've got these two things that are kind of intersecting together, that are at odds with each other. And that's like the tail of the fish in the ocean. And that's what it is. These guys are really fucking hopeless at reading their emotions. They don't really want to talk about their feelings or their emotions because they see that as weak. And if they are seen as weak, then they could lose faith or lose face. It's like losing face is like a term that we use in Australia, where we talk about someone like losing their status, being seen as weak in the eyes of the opponent. And so that's the thing that really pisses off a dark-sided Capricorn, is being appeared to be vulnerable. appear to be weak. And that's why it's so difficult to sustain a relationship with a Capricorn that just isn't connected to their emotions, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And so they love you and they bring you in, and you'll have these really tender moments where they'll kiss you and say they love you and hug, and you think that you've made progress with them, and then they'll push you away in 2 seconds. They'll get away from me. All right, that's it. Enough. Like, over. Like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. You know, that's kind of a typical Capricorn thing would be, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Or they go quiet and shut down. So they don't like having to be pushed to bring up their feelings or anything. Like bringing up emotions is being vulnerable, which to them is not a thing that they're prepared to do. Because in Capricorn's mind, like I said, like with a Capricorn child, or Capricorns age backwards. So they start off with this kind of, say if you're a parent of a Capricorn, deep down in the Capricorn's head, they actually think that they're the parent and they're the ones that are overseeing you, when it could be the complete opposite. And I'll get onto that a little bit in this video, although I do want to keep this video a little bit shorter. Also with the fish and the goat, we've got a goat that's trying to climb up a hill, because that's what goats do. They're hill climbers, a mountain goat. And then we have a fish. So it's like, no wonder it's so fucking challenged. You guys were doomed from the start, because you've got to drag the tail. You've got to drag, you know, you've got this opposite energy working against you all the time. And if Capricorns could control their emotions, well, not control their emotions, because that's what Cancers have to do. If Capricorn could come around to feeling their emotions and expressing them in a way that is emotive back to people, they would have an easier time dealing with life. So that's a hot tip. So yeah, Capricorns are very, very greedy. And it got me thinking last night of examples that I know of Capricorns that are so fucking greedy when it comes to money, that feeling of security. Now, just to off the subject of that for a second, Capricorns need to feel safe, and money makes them feel safe. You need to be able to perform a service for Capricorn to feel you of value to them, even as a parent. So if you can't provide them what they want or what they think that they need, they see you as a non-provider, then that means they're going to dump your ass. They're going to do this thing that Capricorns do where they go, what I call walkabout. And I've seen this with a friend of mine as well, and cousins, and I've heard stories where the Capricorn disappears. You go to their bedroom and they're not there. You go they're supposed to come home from work and they don't come home. And, you know, to even ask them where they were would just be so offensive to a Capricorn, because in their mind, they believe then they don't have to answer to you. You should be answering to them. It's that service thing. The motto of Capricorn is I use. So Capricorn is using of other energy, where Virgo is service, I serve. So it's the opposite there with the Virgo earth. So the little mountain goat wanders off, they disappear, and fuck knows where they are. And you kind of go to yourself, where the fuck is he? Where the fuck did she go? I don't know where she went. You know what? They don't even know where they went. That was just like them having a moment of too much information, too much emotion going in their brain, and the brain just goes shut down mode, shut down, can't deal. So they just wander off into the mountain, off into the hills, off to a friend's place, off to wherever they go. They go for a walk. They just disappear. They pull these vanishing acts, and it can be quite scary, because you're like, where the fuck? And you feel so confused and so lost, because I thought things were in a good place. I thought you were okay, but evidently it got too much for Capricorn. Capricorn's fucked off again. So I think one of the things that I've realized about that is accepting that Capricorns, or dark Capricorns, do this, and let them do it, because it's a part of who they are. They don't want to be controlled. They feel that they should be controlling you. They hate having any accountability of having to answer to someone else. They're very independent like that. And they're very cold. A Capricorns, they look miserable. They look fucking miserable. A dark Capricorn, or a Capricorn in general, like I don't see them as like happy, bouncy, fun energy. It's not like a puppy brain Sagittarian. These guys have to be right in all situations, and they can be quite hypocritical as well, because they'll change their point of view on something that they disagreed with last time and argue with someone else, and now this time they've changed their point of view over so that they can, you know, just so they can be argumentative. They're very argumentative like that. It's really annoying. They've always got to be right. I find Capricorns in general super pessimistic anyway. And Capricorns can be energetic vampires, like energy vampires. They've always got to they're sitting back, draining energy of other things. So if you've always got the Capricorn, much like the Virgo actually, a dark Capricorn's always fucking complaining, worrying about their bills, worrying about, their relationship or their marriage. There's always something going on that they're always worried about. And it's just painful, actually. It's like, and even for no apparent reason, even when things are going well, Capricorn always seems to look at like that they go into that panic mode. If anything happened with like their security, or their parents broke up, or their partner lost a job, the Capricorn gets into panic mode. And because they're very orientated around feeling security through money. So that's just, it's just how they are. And that's what they do. They can't help being this way. It's like telling a Leo to not be a Leo. If you told a Leo, don't be a Leo, I mean, they'd get depressed. If you told a Scorpio like myself to not be deep and be shallow and like talk about bullshit, it would annoy the Scorpio. We can't change what we are. We can only understand more deeply what we are. So the main thing I would like to say in this part 2 of the video about the dark side of Capricorn is that they are so emotionally abusive. They really are. They really abandon you in a lot of ways. Like, you can be in a relationship with them and you think that you're doing really well and things are going well, but they'll just abandon you at any moment. And I will say this, if you are in a relationship with the Capricorn, whether it's they're your mother or they're your son or daughter, brother, sister, or even partner, I want you to think about what it is that you do for them. Think of all the things that you do for them, because you'll often find that it's very, very one-sided. You're the one running around after them. You're the one picking up after them. You're the one cleaning up after them, paying for them, looking after them. It's always of being service to a Capricorn. And a dark-sided Capricorn generally gives fuck all back. They really don't. They really are very selfish. So selfish emotionally. You've got to prop them up and make them feel secure. But it could be like, you can't keep giving. It's just basically, they're not givers, they're takers. So it's just give. And that's how it generally is with a Capricorn in general anyway. They're very manipulative around people, particularly parental energy with a Capricorn. They manipulate the shit out of their kids. And they always have to appear to be living in a lifestyle that is completely outside of their means. So they've got to be driving around in the top car. They've got to live in the top suburb. They've got to appear. It's very important how a Capricorn appears. And I've even seen some kind of, not to be racial, but I've seen like a lot of Asian Capricorns. They've got to have like that Louis Vuitton. They've got to have that status. They've got to have the brands. They've got to show other people that they have monetary power. And they assert that over you by basically throwing it in your face. They could borrow money off you, and then, you'd be worried. Actually, that's a story I've got there. I lent some money to a Capricorn friend of mine years ago, and she never really paid me back. And there's nothing more awkward than someone hard pressing you for money. I can't pay my rent. Why couldn't she pay her rent? Because she was living outside of her fucking means. She had her priorities were all fucked up. She'd rather go out on the town and have fun and knock back the drinks than just like pay her bills. So when it came to paying bills, she'd go into panic mode, and they're good actors too. These guys can, they understand emotion in the sense of how it appears, but they don't really feel it. I'll get onto that maybe in the next video when I talk about the Cancers. But she had the money, and she never paid me back. But in a couple of months later, I could see that she was doing financially better, and I was happy for her, but she never brought it up. And you don't want to bring that up to someone. That's fucking awkward as hell. And she came over in her new car and had all this shopping of all these clothes and shoes in the back of the car to show off, yet again, status to me, to show me how rich she was now, because things were, picked up for her on the on and up. And it was only because she was actually fucking her boss anyway that she got the promotion. It's very stereotypical with a Capricorn coming in as a secretary or, sleeping with the boss kind of thing. But yeah, she just wanted to flaunt off all this money that she'd made, but never thought about paying back people that had helped her. And that's another one as well. So yeah, think about the service that you offer to them, and think about what would happen if you took away your service from them. See how nasty they can turn on you very quickly. Also with Capricorn, they do the Taurus thing where they buy things for you, they look after you financially, they'll get you the phone, they'll get you the car, they'll build you up. But secretly, that's just another way of them asserting control over you so that you can't leave in a partnership. So the significant other is always doing something of service for them. So they're always, you're dependent on me. And I've seen that a lot with like ethnic families, like the mother really asserts herself in the family because she's just terrified of being broke. These guys like lose sleep about money. Like these guys stay up counting their pennies. Like I said in the first video, part 1, go back and watch it. Ebenezer Scrooge, total killjoy, total Capricorn. And they treat relationships a lot like the dark side of a Capricorn is that they treat relationships like a routine. Like get up, go to sleep, go to work, sit down, do this, eat this. It's very regimented in structure, and you can kind of feel like an employee. Another one that I had was a girlfriend that was dating a Capricorn, and she would like kiss him on the cheek in the morning to say, good day, have a good day, babe, I love you. And the Capricorn will kind of look at her and go, thanks. Like just cold, so fucking cold. And so in a Capricorn relationship, you're often wondering like, what happened? Does she want me? Did I do something wrong? God, like what is going on here? Like for this to be okay, like who knows? No, I can tell. I'm telling you right now, it's a red flag. And if you have a partnership with a Capricorn where they're cold, get out. You don't want to be with someone who's cold. Now I've been thinking about also the darker side of them as well. They are mind game players. Like I said, they shit test the fuck out of you. They have to understand and ascertain how they're going to interact with you and treat you based on your status in life. And this is something that I've noticed particularly in the Indian culture. People might be watching this video going, oh, that's not politically correct. You can't talk about that. Yes, I can. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, and I'm going to talk about whatever I want. I don't care. I'm not politically correct. Don't give a fuck. I'm giving you an example in this video. Indian Capricorns would be hell for the most part to deal with. Because when they come into your house, and I've had this with Indian clients, I've had this with Indian people around me, Indian friends, Indian colleagues, they have to quickly ascertain your station in life to determine how they're going to treat you. Rather than just treat everyone the same, these guys come from a class system. So they'll come into your house and very overconfident, and it's so cheeky. It's so cheeky to do this. They'll come in and be like, is that your couch? How much did that cost? Is that your coffee table? Did you buy that? Like they'll look at you with this fucking condescending tone in their voice. How much do you rent this house or do you own this house? Like they've got to ascertain how much money you have in the bank to determine how they're going to be nice to you or not. And my response to this is, fuck off. My response to this behavior is, well, did you know it's actually really rude to ask someone a question like that? Did you know that it's actually incredibly rude to go up? I put it this way to a Capricorn man once who came into my house and started asking me these questions, which was just so offensive. And I was in a foul mood. Plus, when you come into a Scorpio's house, you better be polite because you're coming into the Scorpio den. And I remember looking at him and I just thought to myself, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Like, what the hell? And I said to him, did you know it would be incredibly rude to go up to someone in the street and say, hey, excuse me, how much money do you have in the bank? Can we just go over to the ATM now and you can go put in your card in the wall in the machine and I can see how much money you have? First of all, it's none of your business. Second of all, how dare you? Okay, and if you are a Capricorn and you're guilty of this type of behavior, stop it. Don't do it. Think about how rude this is. Treat people on the same level. Doesn't matter who the fuck they are. It's none of your business. Okay, so stop doing that, Capricorn, because you guys, when you do it, it just makes you look like such a dick. And another thing about Capricorn, you think that everyone's envious of you and that everyone's jealous of you. Capricorns would be constantly thinking that everyone wishes that they were them. We don't. No, we don't. So that's a little bit there about Capricorn. Also, another part of them is that they like to encourage their partners and friends to move forward in life and do really well in life. And they'll like mentor you and take you under their wing. Like I said, ego can be very charitable with Capricorn. Secretly, they're resenting you every step of the way. They're kind of like getting jealous in the sense that you may one day leave them, which is a threat to their security. So a lot of them could be like saboteurs as well. I know Virgo can do that sometimes. Like they might be in a relationship with a really weak Pisces that's an alcoholic or a drug addict, and they just, keep them where they need them. And they'll, at some point, if there are other parties doing better, they'll kind of, tempt them with a bottle of alcohol or maybe put out a joint or something. Although that's, by the way, Capricorns love joints. They love smoking pot. I've come across a lot of Capricorns that love like getting high. They love it. They love the herb. To a Capricorn, the herb is natural. Okay, they're not really interested in hardcore drugs like crystal methamphetamine or MDMA or whatever. These guys like a mellow high to unwind after work, but that shit can be a problem. And it's just another way for them to escape out of their own head, because it's just another way for them to distort. Like any type of hallucinogenic with a Capricorn, they like that because it's getting them out of reality. Getting not out of reality because they're regimented in reality. No other sign could be more regimented in reality than a Capricorn, but it's getting them out of their out of an emotional state that they may not like. So that's another thing that I've noticed about Capricorn. But yeah, other than material possession, I think we really covered that. They'll drop you like at the moment, they can easily walk away from you. So you could be in a relationship with a Capricorn. They're a little bit scary like this, actually. The only way I could describe it would be like some kind of really manic, crazy, fucked up Gemini. And I think what they do, say if you're in a relationship, with a Capricorn and it's been like 10, 15 years, don't be surprised if one day they just wake up and look at you and go, I want a divorce. And be like, what? Like, yep, just like that. I'm out. See ya. They can let you go at a moment's notice. They'll terminate you. Secretly, they like firing people. I know Capricorns enjoy terminating employees because it makes them feel powerful. But after they've basically while they're doing that, while they would just dismiss you, they can be very dismissive of your feelings, very dismissive of your emotions. The reason that they're doing that is because they, in their mind, have used you. And that's what the motto was. Back to it, I can't say it again. They're users. So it's like once they have squeezed every little bit of value that they can get out of you, they'll drop you like a hot potato. They'll have no problem leaving you alone in the world. They don't care. That's how they are. They'll walk away because you've got no more to offer them, or they've found something else, a higher step up on the mountain that they're climbing that will help them more than you could help them. So often, and then they'll kind of look back. Capricorns wouldn't be like, you see, because it's interesting because Cancer would look back at people that have helped them and say, thank you for helping me. Cancer will acknowledge their past because the past directly correlates with the future with the Cancerian, because crabs walk sideways or backwards. So they're always looking back the way that they came. But with a Capricorn, they're only looking forward. They don't want to look backwards. They don't, and that's a lighter side of a Capricorn. Doesn't want to rehash covered ground. They just want to tread over new ground. That's how they are. And so they don't want to look over the past. They don't want to talk about the time that dad did this or she said that. They are just moving forward, it's just why it's very easy for them to be detached, because they were already detached from you in the past. And their memory, they can have very selective memory as well. So if it doesn't look good in their favor, Capricorn has no hesitation in trying to just pretend, I can't remember. A common line for Capricorn would be, I can't recall. That might be on their agenda. So that's one thing that I've noticed. They do tend to have a strong moral compass. So Capricorns do see things through to the end. And that's what I was trying to say in the first video. These guys do go the full Muhammad Ali was a Capricorn. They go the full round, and a light-sided Capricorn. Muhammad Ali was a champion. He's a light-sided Capricorn. They really are a great thing, but it takes so long for them to get to that point where they're able to just really integrate their emotions. And when they do that and they're in their light, they shine that light backwards out into the world. That's why I see a lot of Leos, the sun, put with Capricorn, which is the south of the equator. It's the bottom of the earth. It's the bottom of in the five stars, earth, fire, air, earth, fire, water. We have the bottom half of it in the equinox is Capricorn, which is the lower side. It's the darker side. So you've got this darker energy with a being that is of pure light. And we talked about the dark side of Leo in the Leo video. If you haven't seen that one, go back and have a look. But another thing I forgot to mention with the Leos is that the sun can bleach things, can burn things, can suck the life out of things. It can destroy things. The sun erodes things as well. So there is a dark side to the sun as well. Yeah, now what else? Oh my God, I'm just thinking of I feel like this video is really getting a lot further along. I had a landlord many years ago who was a Capricorn, and the living conditions that I was living in were just really, really bad. And I remember just like coming to him saying like, you know, this is really bad. There's no heating, or this is wrong. Like, could you fix this? And they don't really want to spend money. These guys are tight as hell. And he was a Greek guy, so I find Greeks very tight in general, but he was like, nah, ignored my emails. When I sent him a text message about anything other than money, he, you know, wouldn't respond. That's how they are. And they just want that money. At the end of the day, it's all about the money. Money. I just cannot say that enough. It's really all about the money. These guys have to be seen in a way, it's living outside of their means. So they could be broke as hell and they'll be still borrowing money, getting credit cards, trying to get new finance, trying to get this house to show everyone, to impress everyone. They've got to impress everyone. That's how Capricorns are. They have to impress everyone. And, you know, it's just really hard, like in general, like it's very difficult because they have this facade in public where they're very supportive and loving and caring, the doting, sturdy husband that's happy for you and your career. But secretly at home with a Capricorn, it can be a completely different story at home. They've got that two-sided thing like the Taurus does, where, you know, they could be abusing you, emotionally abusing the hell out of you. And you'll tell your family and friends, but your friends just wouldn't believe it because it's like, I just don't see that in him or see that in her. They tend to do that a lot. But yeah, hug me, push me away, hug me, push me away. It's just very fucking bipolar like that. I've noticed a lot of Capricorn men that are Middle Eastern really hate women because that's that, yet again, it's that asserting of power. They don't like anything higher than them. So they've got to be at the head of the house. They can have like many different wives. That's not a problem for Middle Eastern Capricorns as well. Acid attacks, I've noticed Capricorn would probably do that. They can be very spiteful and vengeful. After they've used you, they don't want anyone else to have you. That would be a very common line of a dark Capricorn, would be like, well, if I can't have you, no one can. And if I'm done with you, then no one else can have you. They could hurt you, cut your face, punch you. Like, they're the type of sign that will punch you in the stomach and then give you a hug. Like that, think like that type of gaslighting. Capricorns are great at gaslighting because they're great at manipulation. And if you're in a workplace and you know someone who's born around January, December, around that time, just watch them because they'll be best friends with their manager because they know that their relationship with their manager is going to be the next step up for them physically and metaphorically to achieving a higher status at the workplace. So yeah, they're only going to really be around you unless, you know, you have something that you have something that they want, and that's just how they are. So yeah. This gin and tonic is great. But yeah, they don't like to see their own fault in situations. So one of those mind games, I'll give you a hot tip. They like to flip things on a head. So they'll flip something upside down and try and confuse you. So they're very good. It's like strategically playing chess with a Capricorn. Every step, when they look at a job, they'll come into a workplace and they'll be the bestest, kindest, sweetest person to work with and get along with you and everything's cool. Don't be fooled for a second. These guys are like Scorpio. Like I said, Scorpio can handle themselves in a knife fight. So can Capricorn, yeah? So the only thing that they're doing is getting to know everyone so they can figure out which step do I take, and if I become friends with her, they'd be really good in like a law firm or some shit like that, where they'd be like stepping, if I get friends with her, then I can connect with him, and if I get him, I might be able to get a shot at a meeting with her, and if I get a meeting with her, I might be able to get him over to the dinner party, and if I get her to the dinner party, then I could get him, like, so it's very much like that. Everything is strategically planned. Nothing is just kind of left to the last minute. This is a planning, all of the earth signs are planners, okay? They don't just leave things to the last minute like a Aries or a Sag will. That's just not who they are. They have to plan every situation, and if they can't control it, they don't feel safe. They are control freaks to the nth degree. They are sharks. Okay, so on Wall Street, be full of Capricorns, all getting down there. They'd see homeless bums in the street, homeless men in the street, homeless women. They'd step over the top of them, getting out of the train. They don't give a fuck. They'd be down in Subway. They've got their, look, I had to spot a Capricorn, head down, big trench coat, walking fast, looking at the ground or looking at their phone. They wouldn't give you the time of day unless you had something of value to them. They've got to have things their way when they want it. They're all about the sex as well with the Capricorns. These guys are big cheaters, big players. They're fuckboys. That's just how they are. Deal with it. Sorry. As they get older, they mellow. They are very nasty at times. But yeah, the Capricorn really doesn't deal well with emotions, like I said. So trying to have a relationship with them is very hard. Like I said, they don't want a partner for life. What they want is a teammate for life that they can build a business with. It would be very uncommon for me to meet someone who's dated a Capricorn where they didn't start a business together. And the good thing about a Capricorn, I may end up doing a light side series on the signs, is that once their business fails, Capricorn just starts another business. Once that business fails, Capricorn just starts another business. Their whole life is just starting new businesses, starting new ventures. They're always good like that. They lick their wounds like the Leo does, but they come back stronger, and they do evolve and they do learn. So that's why they are very good with business. A Capricorn that isn't really business minded, I'd have to look at their chart. I'd have to look at their natal sign, because I tend to see it. But that's the thing about the sun signs, is that this is like a fixed thing, and then we've got all these other parts of us in the natal sign and all the other houses and charts which make up how individual we are, how different we are. Like, I actually have a lot of Gemini in my chart, which allows me to have this gift of talking. I have the power to talk. I have the power of communication. I'm doing it right now. I'm very good at communicating complicated information and then transferring that and projecting that out. Then I've got the cusp of Sag, where I'm the philosophical one. I've got that philosophical teacher energy. I could have been a teacher. And then I've got the Scorpio, which is very broody, very sexual, very intense, wants to talk about heavy shit, doesn't want light and fluffy. And so I've got I've got lots of different, that's my astrological makeup. So I'd have to, like I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned, I might actually be considering doing personal private chart readings for people again, where you do a video call with me or a phone call with me, and we look at your chart and I really give you my opinions on like your astrological makeup. And really, it gets really interesting actually. But if you found a Capricorn that has a lot of water in their chart, then they'd be very emotional and probably struggle with that. If you had a Capricorn with a lot of fire in their chart, they'd be fiery and like, let's go, let's get up, let's hike, like more enthusiasm. But Capricorn does have enthusiasm, so that's just how they are. They tend to try and make other people feel insecure about themselves. That's just how they work. That's their way of knocking you off balance. So they're just trying to, fuck you around. Don't let them. Another side of Capricorn, like when I think of them, I think of the Godfather sitting back in that black suit with that red flower, that very iconic kind of very dark, broody, they're like walking up into an office with a big chested wood desk, with a cigar kind of, yeah, Tony, he got in the way. I had to take him away. I had to take, like that kind of character. That's like the Godfather, like that's the character of Capricorn. These guys, like, you don't want to come between them and their business. They'll be running like 10 businesses. They've got their finger in many different things going on at one time. Capricorn wants to have multiple sources of income. They don't want to just have one job. They'll own many restaurants. That's how they are. They start off working at McDonald's, and by the end of their life, when they're finished in this life, they would own a franchise chain of McDonald's. That's what Capricorn wants. they move quickly. So, and they move methodically. And if you blink an eye, you'll miss it. Like that's how they are on the hill. You see the goat on the cliff and then you'll think, oh shit, how is he ever going to get out of this? Capricorn will. Capricorn can. That's how they are. And they do have a little bit of a sadist streak in them as well. They just do. They can be, like I said, they can be very, very mean. And very mean to their grandparents. Very mean to their parents. They are an overseer of authority, and they have that autonomous energy where they're not afraid to wander off. They're not afraid to get out of the nest and just go out into life and start a job. These guys are very independent. So like I mentioned in the first video, ruled by Saturn, it's all about independence, all about their freedom. These guys don't need anyone, but they would prefer you to be with them if you're doing something for them. So I think that's probably one of the best videos that I've done so far explaining the dark side of Capricorn. So if you have a really a Capricorn that's very argumentative, very dismissive of your emotions, very passive aggressive, it's because you probably hurt them or they're dealing with their own emotions and they just don't know how to deal with shit. They just can't deal with anything emotional. So they'll slam the doors, they act out, they smoke pot, they are rebellious. That's just them processing their internalized emotions and trying to make sense of it. If they're rude to you, well, that's how they are. You know, don't try and take it personally if you've got a person around you that is a Capricorn and they're acting out like that. And don't let them make you feel insecure or unsure about you. Okay, you just stand in your power and shine your light, because Capricorns need light people around them, because this sign is a very heavy and dark sign anyway. And I know that because I am a Scorpio, and same recognizes same. So that's why I get along with a lot of Capricorns. And so I really hope that this video has really kind of encapsulated the darker side of the sea goat, half fish. I would say my advice to you with the Capricorn is just let them be who they are, hold space for them. And the more that you push them, the more resistance you're going to get back. So they can be very resistive to things. So, I mean, you're probably doing the best you can with the Capricorn. And just know that these guys, once they get to a certain age, these guys will start integrating into society. They will start making money. They will stop backstabbing or backbiting. They'll always be secretive, but they'll just grow into their power. And you just need to find something for the Capricorn to be interested in and let them do it. Capricorns only feel happy when they are doing something or working on something or building something or making something. If it's an artist Capricorn, they'd only be happy when they're making art. When they're creating, that's when they're happy. Like I said, they've got beautiful hands. Capricorns have beautiful big hands, and those hands are meant to build things. Capricorn is the builder, Virgo is the architect. Okay, so I hope that this video was insightful. I'm going to be getting into the shadow side of the Cancerian, and I'm pre-warning guys, that video is going to be a sledgehammer of a video, because I'm going to really unpack the Cancer. And if you're a Cancer out there, please in advance, no death threats. This is just a sun side read. It's just a shadow side, okay? But yes, we are doing the water signs. This concludes the Earth sign series that we've done. We've done the fire, and now we've finished with the Earth. Now we're moving into the water signs. I will see you in the next video. Please find me and subscribe, or follow me on Instagram and send me a message and comment, guys. Comment down below. What did you think? Did I get it? Did I get it right or wrong? Tell me some things that you found about Capricorn. I want to know about your experiences with these guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.